Hey everyone, welcome back. Let's get into the college basketball best bets for Wednesday, March 12th. I'll give you guys my 5 picks as we get deeper into these college conference tournaments, and we'll do a quick recap from yesterday. Was not good. We want to get involved with more games today. We're going to start playing a little bit more volume, see what happens, as there are a lot of games that do catch my eye. The numbers make sense, but all we know within these postseason affairs is that anything could possibly happen. So this time of year, I do favor some more bigger numbers. Try to stay away from the big favorites unless the spot dictates it. So we saw that a little bit last night and in the afternoon where we did get some, I guess you would say, reversion, where it's hard to beat a team 3 times in a row, all that good stuff. But for us on the channel, just a quick recap, we had one of our 4 games that we did pick come out, thankfully, and this is one where the hammer play of the day was Robert Morris against YSU. So the multiple units that I gave out and said that would be a multiple unit play for me in that spot ended up paying off. So it wasn't that bad of a day, but it's still in the L column. So we'll take it, and moving forward, let's get this 5-pack going in our direction, okay, for tonight's contest. So let's get it. If you haven't done so, guys, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you're watching on X, make sure you follow me on there as well. And there are a ton of games. Now the SEC tournament, Big Ten tournament, all seemingly kicking off. Let's get into OUTLIER, where we're going to make our picks, and I'll share with you guys kind of the numbers in that regard. If you're not using OUTLIER, there is a link down below, 7-day free trial. Check it up as I pull it up on your screen and we talk about it, okay? So here we go with the first game on the card, and this is Richmond and Davidson. Kind of a lean towards Richmond. Too many points. I think this is a 10-21 club that was able to take care of business against Davidson in the regular season. Was not able to take care of business against Davidson during the regular season, and kind of there's this weird thing about beating a team 3 times in a row. I don't like to follow that because the better team should win. There's some very rare situations where I do kind of break that rule. We're actually going to break that rule today, but that would be a lean towards Richmond in this spot, but no official play. Virginia, Georgia Tech, this is an official play. We're going to lay -115 on the Georgia Tech money line, okay? So that's where we're going to find a team that has taken care of business against Virginia, okay, and that's where they were able to dominate in terms of what we saw from the Yellow Jackets. Now, this is something where we look into recent form. Georgia Tech right now is the better team playing at the moment. Virginia, on the other hand, they've been kind of trending downwards, and so I just think it's a bad spot, bad time for the Cavaliers. So give me Georgia Tech on the money line in a game that might be a little bit lower scoring, actually, even as well. So lean towards the under, but I want to take Georgia Tech money line as an official play. Okay. Next game, Cincinnati. Boy, today really cost me within Oklahoma State, and that was one of the sloppiest games. If anybody wasted their afternoon watching that one yesterday, that was a tough one to swallow. Cincinnati, Oklahoma State gets a big thumbs down for me. Very sloppy. Cincinnati on a bounce back. I think Iowa State might end up giving them the business today. Kind of want to go full guns blazing on Iowa State. I think this is where you look into kind of what they should be able to do against a Cincinnati club that, yes, they took care of Oklahoma State, but gosh, there was 20-plus turnovers, early foul trouble for the Cowboys in that one, and I just think on a quick turnaround, Iowa State coming off a bye, maybe a little bit slower first half, maybe it explodes in the first half, I don't know, but I will tell you guys that Iowa State within a spread bet here, -8.5 is something that I do favor quite a bit, and it came this close to making my card. It's just kind of one of those things where we're going to see how this one shapes and where the money heads later on in the evening as we have a 12:30 tip-off. But as you guys wake up and watch this video, this is kind of where you're going to want to see where the money's at, because Iowa State is definitely a almost must-play for me, just right outside of my top 5 picks on the day, okay? Next game, worth talking about, South Carolina, Arkansas, Calipari and company. South Carolina is away from home, so I know a lot of people have been calling for this Arkansas team to do well. I'm going to stay away from this game with a 10-foot pole. I am not getting involved. Arkansas 19-12 on the season, and the reciprocal is South Carolina 12-19. This is heavy money on Arkansas across the board in this spot. I'm not getting involved at whatsoever, although if I had to, South Carolina money line does kind of tempt me a little bit going against going against the grain. A little contrarian play for me if I was going to make a move on that spot. Okay. Next, North Carolina, Notre Dame. I still fade Notre Dame, so for me, this is almost a auto play with NC. I just don't really quite frankly trust the Tar Heels, but I do think the Fighting Irish have been playing a little bit better as of late. That's the only thing that really does give me pause. Otherwise, I would be banging the North Carolina -9.5. I think they get this one done with double digits. Played Duke down to the wire, but they relinquished that kind of close contest late in the second half. So I think this is their next game back. They're hungry. I think they have to win to get in a couple games here. So they need to win this game a little bit more so. And that's kind of where you have Notre Dame in survive mode, and they have nothing to lose. So that's a scary team to be matched up against. So for me, guys, this is a pass, but I do lean NC -9.5 quite a bit. All right. Going down the odds board, let's get into the next play that we will have. Love me some McNeese. Boy, they're playing good. I can't wait to see what seed they get. 25-6 on the season, 19-1 in conference. I just wanted to give them a quick little shout out. But we are going to get involved with some Big Ten action here. I'm going to take the Iowa Hawkeyes here, +5.5 against a Ohio State Buckeye team that I just don't like this season. Okay, they have the ability to basically beat any team they come across, but on the other hand of that argument, they have lost some clunkers, and this is kind of where you look into what they've done recently. They lost to Indiana as a 2.5-point dog coming into the Big Ten conference play. But for me, guys, this is more so Iowa. What have you done for me lately? Michigan State, I guess you would say playing them close to the wire. It was a wider margin than it appeared, but Iowa played really tough down to the wire, and that's what I want in a dog. Northwestern, kind of the only outlier that gives me pause. Illinois as well, but fresh win with margin at Nebraska. I think that right now when we talk about Iowa, they might be playing a little bit better, even though they're 13 and 17 ATS, 13-15 on the season. I just like the points here in this spot. I'm taking Iowa. I don't think that Ohio State is 6 points better than anybody, quite frankly, on any given night. So this is kind of where, yes, Ohio State could win by 6, but the value for me in my number that I made this game closer to 3 or 4 points is definitely with Iowa, especially on a neutral. So that's kind of how I'm going to approach this game. So give me Iowa in this spot, okay, +5.5 as a best bet. Next, let's go down the board a little bit. We are going to stay with UNLV. This is a very interesting game for me due to the fact that if you watched UNLV play in the regular season against Air Force, it was an absolute ugly spot for Air Force. Okay. Winning basically by 20 points in both contests. This number has climbed a lot. Right now it's sitting at 13. I'm going to take a 12.5 with UNLV. Okay, that's where we're going to lay the juice. 12.5 UNLV. It's the worst of the numbers, some closing line value, but I think that the Running Rebels get this one done with some margin here as they get into a 7 o'clock tip-off on the East Coast going against Air Force. This is just a straight-up play, and we're going to have another one just like this where it's just too low of a number. I mean, they're never going to make UNLV a 17-point favorite, although they should probably be a 15.5-point favorite in my book, unless Air Force decides that they want to play some basketball. It's just a horrible matchup, the way that the UNLV defense likes to play. And you look at Air Force, I mean, they lost 87-47 against Utah State, losing by 23 against Boise, 21 New Mexico, 22 against Colorado State. 4 straight losses in a row by 20-plus points. I just don't see how UNLV, off of a bad loss against New Mexico, how they don't look to get right here in this spot. So give me UNLV big time. They have to come to play if they want to go dancing. All right, so give me UNLV taking down the Falcons by a significant margin. Okay. Next, let's get down the board a little bit more. So we are going to talk about some of the games that we have later on. Syracuse SMU, that's one that I'm looking forward to, kind of in a different way than you guys. Some action. We got Bowling Green and Akron. Too big of a number, but I was looking to play Akron in the spot. It's just too big of a number for me. Okay, and then the last game on the card that I do want to talk about, I have 2 more plays for you guys, and I'm going to have to find it because I think I might have jumped over it, but that's where we're going to look into the first one, and that is going to be Rhode Island and Fordham, okay? Now, Rhode Island and Fordham, this is just simply a bad number. I think Rhode Island gets this one done. This is very similar to my Robert Morris play. I make this number a lot higher. This is where Rhode Island, you're going to want to take this and track this money because I think this does get up into the 5s. The fact that it's not moving does make this a little bit fishy. This is the fish alert of the game as Fordham is 11-20, 3-15 in conference, and Rhode Island getting it done. And this is just something where I look at this game and you look at the head-to-head. They covered it in a split, but I do think that Rhode Island gets this one done pretty substantially after they've taken down Fordham in March 8th. They were able to win that game 86-67. So similar to a lot of spots we've seen where these teams play each other in the last game of the season and then have to bounce back, and then they get them in that postseason affair. But this is my outlier of the day. This is the number that doesn't make sense. So give me Rhode Island minus 4.5 as an official best bet. Okay. Now, last one that we are going to get into, there are a ton of games, guys, so I apologize for making this a little bit more drawn out, but it's going to be one where we're going to stay within the kind of the patriotic sense of the word. Give me American, all right? I want the Eagles minus 3. That is my last official play. Navy, I just think that recent form dictates that this is going to be a game where I can't trust Navy in the spot. I think that head-to-head, you look at it, and you can see kind of how American lost to Navy 81-58 back in January, albeit in 68-60. But this is a different American team. Navy comes in this game a little bit, I guess say, not the same. And in terms of the numbers, guys, why is American minus 3.5 point favorites? Okay, it just doesn't make sense. You look at it, guys, and you have to kind of ask yourself, what does Vegas know that the general public does not? And they're going to make a team minus 2, minus 4.5, and minus 3.5 against a team that's beat them twice this season and kind of twice significantly. So it's very hard to beat a team 3 times in a row. I know we're using that in both arguments for today's picks, but give me American. We're going to take them on the money line here. If you can find a minus 3, great. If not, I will still endorse a minus 3. But I do like American to get this job done against Navy, staying away from the trifecta as they are the better team, 21-12 on season, and you got to remember something. 2 of those losses are to Navy. So outside of that, Navy would be 13-20. So records don't really matter. The matchup, for some reason, does meet Navy's eye, but I think that they're trending in the opposite direction a little bit. So I do like me some American Eagles here in this one. As Navy, I know they've won a couple in a row, 5 straight. But if we look into kind of what American's done as well, they've won 4 out of their last 5, and actually kind of, I think, 7 of their last 10. And they're getting it done with some margin. So back-to-back games against Colgate, winning against Lafayette, and this is something where it might get a little bit lower score game in this one as well, but I think that this is where American can get this job done, and we're going to lay them minus 3, and if you can't find a minus 3, I will not take the 3.5, but if you can find a minus 3 or under, great. Otherwise, if you want to get involved, you're going to have to play American on the money line, minus 154. So those are my best bets. Appreciate you guys. Let's get a quick recap going before we get you guys out of here. We're laying 4.5 with Rhode Island, taking 5.5 with Iowa, Georgia Tech on the money line, minus 115, laying 12.5 with UNLV, minus 110, and then American, we're going to lay 3 points, or if you can't find 3, and it's a 3.5 or 4, we will take the money line in that spot. So appreciate you all tuning in. Let's bounce back today after yesterday's plays, and hopefully get back into the positive as we await these conference championship tournaments getting into their later rounds. Then we get to see what's happening within the bracket come March, okay? And full disclosure, guys, I will be doing a Selection Sunday live stream, so make sure you have that notification bell turned on. If you want to know more about that, send me a message here. We'll try to get you this scheduled so you guys can set reminders as I fill out my first bracket, not the bracket of integrity, but my first bracket as the table is set, as we'll watch all together, okay? Appreciate you guys. Thank you. Good luck with your picks, and we'll see you all tomorrow.